Just got my coffee from this coffee shop restaurant that just opened back up a few months ago in this tiny town. And I've been resisting going there. I don't know why. But I'm glad I went in there today because it was very like cool. I liked it, and it definitely had some community vibes, and that's like been missing here for a while. The reason for that is because the main industry out here took a nosedive over the last 5 years or so. 10 years really, but the last 5 years it's really been tough, and a lot of the small businesses here, the small farms, have been going under, and half the town's left, and that's how it's been in most of these towns up here, due to the agenda of bigger corporations coming in and taking over and wanting to wean people out. I'm not going to go further into that because I don't feel like it's super relevant for this channel, but it's interesting. And it makes it, I guess it could be, I could tie it in relevant wise, because it makes for a very kind of challenging energy to live in, because there's a lot of disappointment in the air here and a lot of people that have lost their livelihood, and people who were making millions of dollars now can't even make a profit. So it's pretty intense out here right now, and it has been for a little while. But people are trying, like I said, wasn't planning on going into that, but the reason I guess it's coming up is because, and the reason I was resistant to going to that coffee shop restaurant or whatever, like, is because the energy here is really harsh for me. I can feel it, and I'm very sensitive to energy, and I can feel everyone. So, but what I realized today is that I'm actually super grateful for where I live, and it's fucking beautiful here, and there's a lot of conveniences we don't have here, but I mean, this is beautiful. Like, I'm at a trail right now, there's nobody here. So I do like that, because I like to be away from people so that I can be in my own energy and connect to source more easily. So I'm like walking, breathing, drinking coffee. My heart rate's going up as we speak as I'm drinking caffeine. I'm just kidding. It's not anything crazy, but I'm like trying to breathe and talk and walk. Okay, so so the lesson of the day so far on that subject is that, like, you really can bring love into any situation, and like that's what that little restaurant showed me, is that like there's definitely community vibes still here in this town, and it's probably even tighter now because of everything everyone's been going through and gone through, and the community is smaller now. And that's really like the only place I've been in this town. This is the only place I've been where I actually feel that community vibe. And I'm sure it's like that at the bar too. And that place is a bar too. It's a coffee shop and a bar. It's like 100-year-old building, and they redid like all the insulation and stuff, and it's nice in there. Looks good. And yeah, I mean, it's cool that, like, despite everything that's happened here, and despite the vibes being challenging, there still is these community gathering spots. And like I said, like, besides the other like 2 bars in town, like, and I actually haven't been to the bars here because I don't go to the bars anymore. Since I've lived here, I haven't been a bar person. I used to be, very much so. Used to be, but last 10, 12 years I haven't been. So, but I don't know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that it's just like, it just gives me hope, and like me going in there just made me feel like, made me remember actually that like it doesn't matter what the vibe is in any community, like I can bring love wherever I am, and I can bring a frequency of authenticity and truth and just higher vibrations, and I know that it radiates outwards here, or sorry, not here, but anywhere. I know that it radiates outwards, and that it does have an effect. So there's no reason to like hide from the community. Which is kind of what I've been doing mostly since I've been here, because I don't know. I haven't seen any reason to like really be a part of the community here, and because everyone's just kind of trying to survive, and do their own thing and work. Everyone's working really hard out here just to like be out here. So I'm going to continue this conversation when I get to my log. Mogul, come here, bud. Mogul, come. Mogul, come. Good boy. Good boy. Hey, where are you going? Oh, come here. Good boy. Come on. He knows that we're going that way, so he's confused why I'm calling him this way. He's like, he can't fool me, Mom. I'm just going to keep walking and talking because it's raining, and it's going to be raining harder in a minute. So on a more positive note, I mean, that is kind of a positive thing, right? Because it's like you can bring love anywhere you are, and you can show up in whatever frequency you want. And if you're giving your power of choice and sovereignty and your frequency, if you're giving that power away to anything, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. And I've been doing this for a while. I hope my mic isn't too close to my mouth. I hope you can actually hear me. I haven't even checked the sound. I'm just going to pause because it's raining and I'm out of breath. Woo! This is nice. And like the fact that I have this access trail, even though that's like the only one in town that's not like a OHV trail. All the other ones are like four-wheeling and off-roading trails for like dirt bikes and quads. This one's actually a hiking trail and a biking trail. Yeah! Yeah! And like it's cool that there's like hardly ever anybody here. Sorry, I keep putting my coffee in front of the camera. Trying to get a good lighting here. Good lighting. So yeah, be more unconditional in your frequency. Because I guarantee you, there's a part of you that's just being lazy if you're not feeling good. And like, I know that it's really hard sometimes. And I know that we get stuck in these spirals of when something goes wrong, or like, oh my God, there we go. When something goes wrong, like I had to deal with something the other night that was super fucked up, and like it totally put me out for like 2 days. And you know what? Like it's okay. And like I can get over it, and I can recover from it, and I can still choose sovereignly a high frequency. Gosh darn it. Doesn't matter what's going on. It's okay to process the emotions. It's really, really healthy to do that. Don't suppress the emotions. But after you're done processing whatever is coming up emotionally for you in any given situation, just let it process, and then let yourself come back to your high frequency. It's okay. Like you don't have to hold on to these things forever. You don't even have to hold on to them for more than 2 days or whatever. I mean, it's going to be different for everybody. Like when I lost my puppy a couple months ago, it took me weeks to recover from that. And I'm still like traumatized by that sort of, but I've processed it, and I know that he's still here because he's a non-physical being in love and light, and he's in a pure positive vibration. And it brings me a lot of peace to know that. And because I know that he's with me, and that he's focused here with me, and that he's right here on this trail with me. And he was laying with me in my bed this morning, cuddling with me, his little angel non-physical self. So come on, Mogul. Come back, bud. Come on. Good boy. Yeah, look at this guy. He's so happy. Good boy. It's hard to. Oh, there we go. There he is. He's so happy. So, and I still got this beautiful one. So, and I feel like the puppy, my puppy Summit, who passed away, I feel like he also like expresses through Mogul, my dog here, Mogul. I feel like Mogul embodies him sometimes, especially when I'm talking about him. Like Mogul will come when I'm talking about Summit, like Mogul, or thinking about him, I should say. Mogul will like run up to me or like appear at my bedroom door or something, which is interesting because these dogs are so tapped in because they're pure love. And so when you're in a state of love, you're in a high frequency. You're matching the state of all of the loved ones that have made their transitions to non-physical, all the ones that have passed away. I don't like to use the term died because we never die, right? We don't ever actually truly die because we're eternal. And I've heard many accounts of from mediums and also like people who have gone to the other side and come back, like people who have actually died and like come back, and people who have had loved ones who have passed and have been able to communicate with them. They all say that like once we pass away, like our pass away, it's not actually passing away, right? We make our transition to non-physical, we reemerge with our source energy self and leave the body, the physical body behind, that we're still focused in the 3D. Like we're still focused on Mogul's running. Yeah, bud. See, confirmation. Confirmation from Mogul. That we're still focused here. The ones that have made their transition are still focused in the 3D. And they're still focused in what on us, and like the ones that they loved and then the ones that they left behind here, they're still with us and they want us to know that, and they're trying to get our attention all the time. Supposedly, you know, this is what mediums say, is like that and like if you've ever listened to, oh my god, I keep bringing up Abraham Hicks in like every episode or every video, but like they've had a huge influence on my life, okay? So I'm gonna keep bringing them up whenever I need to, but like mock our idea of death because there's like it's so furthest thing from the truth that like anybody here dies or any animals or any humans die, because they don't. Like they're still here with you. Like when they talk about Esther's husband who died, they say dearly departed Jerry, and then they say, well, dearly not so departed Jerry. So just that's a really like this is a huge that is a huge conversation in itself, because like it's so hard for us to deal with death. It's so hard to lose someone you love, especially like a child or like a baby or like a parent. And like the puppy Summit, my puppy, he was like my baby, and I don't have any kids, like actual kids myself. He really was like the smartest dog I've ever known, and he was only 3 months old when he died, and he was seriously like my baby. Like I'd carry him around and he was so sweet and cuddly and like innocent and just the cutest. He was literally the cutest puppy like I have ever seen in my whole life. I couldn't even believe that the girl like who found him like gave him to me, because I don't know. The whole thing is crazy, and like I came to terms with it as far as accepting that he was an angel who was a volunteer, and like this is the message sort of that I received, that he came into our lives to just shed light and bring a lot of love and raise the frequency of our household and give us the experience of having a puppy. And like I'd never had a puppy before, and because all my dogs I've adopted when they're adults, and I like actually feel like he came in to give me that experience, which is so weird because I really wanted him to grow up with us, given he had a lot of issues as far as anxiety and like separation anxiety, like, but he's a puppy, so you know. Um, but his soul didn't intend to grow up with us, and I do feel that that's true, intuitively. And you guys, the other thing is like when I got him, the day after I got him, I heard a voice when I woke up the next morning, like right when I got out of bed, and I woke up and Summit was with me on my bed, and I was gonna take him outside, and right when I opened my eyes and like sat up and got out of bed, I heard a voice that said, "This one's not gonna make it." So that was crazy. I was like trying to pretend like I didn't hear it. And then like it was always in the back of my mind, like the following weeks. We had him, like we had him for a few months. We only had him for a few months. Like he was 5 weeks old, I think, when our neighbor found him, and then when he passed away, he was only 3 months old. So, and it was like very unexpected and like absurd and like, dude, it was just crazy. It was so traumatic. It was so upsetting and so intense. So intense. Like it was like watching my child die, you know, like it really was. And took him to the vet, took him to the emergency vet. They kept him overnight, tried to save him, and like he was just he wasn't able to, like he didn't make it. And but this is something we have to deal with in life. It's so crazy. And like we don't talk about what's really going on. Like everybody's just accepted that like when someone dies, they're dead, they're gone. I mean, there's a lot of people who believe that we go to heaven or hell or whatever after death too, but like what if like they are actually just still here with us? And they're like, "Hey guys, we're still here. I know you can't see us, but if you get in a high frequency and trust that we're here, like I promise you you'll be able to communicate with us." So, yeah. I love him and he's still with me. And so this whole conversation, I have to switch hands because my okay, so it's interesting that this all came up because I actually was planning on talking about something today that let's talk about it because it totally relates to all of this. So I've been having a hard time finding peace, okay? And like it's like I've been letting all of my thoughts control my energy and I've just been like letting the momentum of my busy mind run the show as far as my frequency and my energy and the signal I'm putting out. Oh my god, I just got a drop of water like in my eye. Confirmation, I guess. um so gosh, I can't hold my phone and like do this. Like it's hurting my muscles on my arm. I swear I do Pilates like multiple times a week, but okay, so I'm holding it differently now so that I don't know, could I set it on a tree or something? I'm gonna try to set this on a tree. So why that ties into what I want to talk about is that I'm noticing that like when I'm aware of any sort of non-physical energy, such as Summit or my inner being, like my non-physical self, the one that is one with source, that's focused into this physical body, like my not ego. I just realized that I'm actually standing like right next to where Summit went into shock. That's crazy. He's definitely here with us, so it's good to acknowledge that. Oh, and Mogul's running at me. Mogul just came running up to me like all big smile. Wish I would have caught him on camera, but I don't want to mess up my little tree setup here. So just like propped up on a little tiny nub of a stick that's branch that's coming off the tree. Probably too much information. I really need to learn to talk less. I don't know. That sounds terrible. So I'm noticing that I can immediately find peace as soon as I recognize any sort of non-physical presence with me. For example, if I think of Summit being here with me, like on my shoulder, like everything just gets peaceful. I just looked up at like a hawk like flying way up there on the hill right when I said that. And the same thing happens when I think of my inner being here with me. When I say inner being, like it just means like your source energy, non-physical self that's focused in this physical body with you. I mean, as you. I mean, you are it. That's the paradox, right? When I remember that there's this non-physical presence with me at all times, And you can do this, like I said, with like your loved ones who have made their transition, or like just knowing that your inner being is right here focused with you, and your inner being is always guiding you on the path of least resistance towards everything that you want. And good boy, there he is. Oh, camera shy, camera shy. So also I'm not like a professional skier or anything. The reason we named him Mogul is because his foster dad, his foster owner named him that, and I'm guessing he's a skier. But I am a snowboarder. I'm not like a super hardcore snowboarder. I used to be when I was a kid. I was super hardcore snowboarder when I was a kid, and then I broke my arm, and then I got scared. 8th grade, yeah, when I was in 8th grade, that happened. And then I still did snowboard team. We had snowboard team in high school. So the reason I was bringing that up is because Mogul, like we do snowboard, but like we're not like, I don't know. I feel like Mogul is like a super avid skier's dog name, but it's cool. Like, and then when we got the puppy, we named him Summit, and it just seemed fitting for a few reasons. But anyways, what I'm finding is that it's easy to find peace as soon as I recognize the non-physical beings present with me, or just my inner being that's always with me. Because I think what it does is it turns the focus from like all of these thoughts about out here. It like turns your focus from thinking about yesterday and this morning and the thing that happened last night and your mom and your sister and being worried about people and, you know, just all the things that we think about. It turns your focus from all the things you think about that are like in your life experience on the outside, or like that aren't even happening in the now moment, but they're active in your mind. It turns your focus from those, which it would be like the outer world, and it turns that focus inward. It turns your focus to the truth. Even if you feel like it's your puppy is like right here outside of you, with you in the non-physical, like he's still within you, and it still turns your attention to truth, and like it turns your attention to peace. And truth always feels like peace, and that's what I'm finding is resonance is truth. And isn't that cool that we have that guidance within us? Like it really should make it so easy, shouldn't it? But like we've been trained away from that guidance. We've been trained to like to listen to other humans. We've been trained to do what other people want for us, and we've been trained to follow other people's expectations of us, of how we live our lives. And there's a whole system, right? There's a whole system in place. So there's a lot of momentum there. There's a whole system in place just designed to tell us like how to live. And right, so gosh, I don't even know where I was going with that. Like what Courtney says on Divinely Aligned channel is her YouTube channel. She always says when she forgets what she was talking about, she always says that I squirreled. Gosh, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sure you guys are knowing where I was going with that, but basically when you remember that you have a non-physical being with you, oh yeah, resonance, right? You can come into resonance with yourself, and yourself is just your non-physical eternal God self, your source energy self, your higher self, your you know, you're the universe, you're your source energy, you're the all, whatever you call it, of course, right? Whatever words resonate with you, but it is a non-physical presence, and it's all around us, and like our animals are connected to it. Like they're pure love, and so they're really, really in tune with it. And like especially the animals in nature, like the deer and the birds, like they're straight up like in alignment with source all the time. I don't know if it's all the time, but they are primarily in alignment with source. And that's why like animals often can be like messengers of the non-physical realm, like angelic messengers. Like if you see, like I saw like a white owl, bright white owl, outside of our house one night. It was a few months back. It was during the summer, and like so bright, and it was at night, and like it was at night, but it was so bright that like you couldn't miss it when you walked outside. It was just sitting on a tree branch like above our deck, and it was just like glowing white. But like these animals, when they show up like that, it's like, you know, they're in tune with source and they're in tune with the cosmos, and so they're gonna mirror. They're gonna, well, everything mirrors you, but like they they I feel like they're definitely messengers of the universe for us. So because they're so in tune with source, so source can easily guide them to do something like that, to like just land on a branch and sit there and wait. I mean, he was probably like waiting. He was probably hunting or something, but like, you know, they're still intuitively guided to us for different reasons. So like whether they're aware that they're there for us or not, you know, whether they're aware that they're there to be like a symbol or a message or not. They might just be like thinking they're hunting, and it, but they're just following the impulse. And like that's what we're here to do, is just follow the impulse. But you can't follow the impulse that's going to lead you most effortlessly and quickest to everything you want if like you're so busy in your mind and you're just like have anxiety all the time. So that's why I'm like really trying to find ways to just like hone into that peace, because like I said, I live in a place where there's a lot of challenging energy. I don't even like to say that. Like, why am I even saying that, right? Why am I claiming that? But it's, I can't ignore it. You know, it's you can't, but I'm gonna go back to something else that Abraham Hicks said right now, is like they say like when you're saying, but it's true, like it's like, you know, because you don't want to focus on things that you don't want, because you don't want to create more of them. And so like they say, like they're like, when Esther tells us like, yeah, Abraham, but it's true, we say, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would put a different criteria, is what they say, on whether we decide to focus on it or not. We would put a different criteria other than whether it's true or not. We would only focus on things that feel good. Like the criteria we would use to choose whether we focus on it or not would be, does this feel good to me? Does this thought feel good to me when I think it? They're like, that's the only criteria we would put on it. And like, oh my God, I love that. They make it so simple. And then like, and then you get it and you're like, oh, this is so simple and easy. And then like life happens and you're like, oh my God, this is so hard and complicated and confusing. And like, that's just part of the awakening process, you know? And like, it seems like everyone has to go through that dark night of the soul where like you realize the truth and you're like on this pink cloud, they call it, like where you're like high on life because you realize like, I'm limitless creator. I'm powerful. Like I can create anything I want. And then like what happens is all of your old patterns and like conditioned beliefs. Okay, here we go. I had to delete my recently deleted folder. This has been an ongoing issue. And then I was gonna go get a new phone, but like the 2 terabyte phone only comes in the bigger size iPhone, and I don't really think I want a bigger iPhone because it's gonna be hard for me to like do stuff on it. Cause I got small hands, yo. I'm not like some big burly dude with big hands, so I didn't buy a new phone. I didn't trade in my phone yet, so and it's still a whole thing that's up in the air. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. So I can get the 1 terabyte phone in the Pro, whatever Pro, iPhone Pro, 17 Pro. I think that's what it's called. But I can't get the 2 terabyte phone. So I'm like, Apple, come on. Because I don't want to pay like a bunch of dollars a month for a bunch of iCloud storage, because I have a bunch of photos and videos, like 200 gigs of photos and videos. And it's just all of my shit from that I've moved over from each past phone over the years onto the new phone. And so it's just like built up. So I think what I'm going to do is just get multiple like USB drives and like put each year's worth of photos and videos on each one. And then I'll just like rubber band them and like have them in my drawer. And then like I had all this thought. I was thinking about all this. And then I was like, here's Mogul. Wait, gosh darn it. I can't see it. Him. There he is. So I was thinking about all this. And then I was thinking like, this is like the new version of photo albums. Like no one's gonna have photo albums now. Everyone's just gonna have like hard drives of photos, right? Am I the only one dealing with this problem? Because well, I've heard Courtney say that she's dealing with it, but I don't know what she ended up doing. But I'm not willing to delete like any photos because I like to go back in time and I like to embody the frequency of like certain times in my life. Well, there's really only like one window of time in my life that I like to embody the frequency of, and that window of time is the time that I discovered that I'm a limitless creator. And like I was just talking about, like those stages of awakening where you're like, you realize the truth, you realize you're limitless, you realize that you're the one creating your reality. You get super excited about that, and then you're like, and then well, for me, like I got really good at it. I just did exactly what Abraham Hicks said to do, and I meditated every day. I quieted my mind for 15 minutes every morning. I only did things that felt good to me. And and like I started that process with like negative dollars in my bank account, like overdrafted. I was behind on all my bills, and I just became unconditional in my state of peace and fun and joy. And like when I did that, I started making a shit ton of money. I didn't even like I didn't put any effort into making that opportunity happen. It just fell right in my lap, and it was doing something super easy and fun. And I only had to work like twice a month, or like 2 days a month, like 4 days a month. It was so fun though, and like so the shit works, you guys. But what happened is that after that, like all of my old beliefs, and I don't even know if they're my own. Like now I'm learning that it might have just been like the whole world, the whole collective's conditioned belief systems that were like coming up so hard, that like so hardcore, so prominently, that like I'm alchemizing them for the whole collective. Like I've heard the Z's talk about that, like the collective that Lee Harris channels. I've heard them talk about that. Like you're not even, you guys, like you people in the first wave or the higher, they didn't use that term, but like in the higher consciousness group are like alchemizing stuff for the collective that's not even your stuff. And it totally makes sense that like it's not my stuff, because I swear I didn't even have like I didn't have these beliefs before. I swear I've never had beliefs of like needing to worry about stuff and like lack, and I was never worried about stuff, you guys. I wasn't really. But maybe I was. I don't know. Like maybe I suppressed a bunch of it with alcohol, cuz in my 20s I drank a lot. You know? I drank a lot and I partied a lot, and there was a lot of I was in a very high conscious group of people that were doing that, but because there was like a lot of art and high frequency music and stuff going on, but there was still a lot of alcohol involved. And so I think I was definitely drowning out something. I don't know, you guys. You know, we're not here to figure out all the details of why we experience things, but we can just trust, and we can trust that like we're never alone because we have non-physicals with us. And I don't know what's going. I was talking about like the spiritual awakening process and how we like alchemize all the shit, and like I feel like I'm coming out of that right now. Like I feel like, I mean, I keep thinking that, and then it just keeps continuing though. So, like the dark night of the soul part of it. I mean, I don't like to label things like that, but like, oh my God, here I'm doing it again. I'm focusing on something because it's true, not because it feels good to think about it, right? So let's talk about something that feels good to think about. Let's talk about what we want, right? So what I'm aiming for right now is to come out the other side of this in a really positive light and stop giving my power away to the conditions around me, because that's the only way that things in your life can get better, is if you stop using the things that are happening in your experience as your excuse to vibrate at a lower frequency, right? You have to just like put a kibosh on that. Come on, bud. Mogul, come. You have to put a kibosh. Is that the right word? I've never even said that before in my whole life. That's so funny. So yeah, it's kind of hard to like, oh, Mogul. It's kind of hard to like find your peace once you're so like, you're just in this like muck of like transmuting all of these low frequency, all this density into light. Because you it's hard not to like get knocked down by like the things that come up. And I mean, you get knocked down and you get back up, right? But like, how many times does it have to happen, right? And I'm just curious if like maybe I can just focus a little bit more strongly in the higher frequency of love and light, and and I'm finding, you know, different ways of doing that. And so I guess the take home is that a new way I've found to do this is to acknowledge the non-physical presence, to acknowledge some kind of non-physical presence, whether it's yourself, whether it's your eternal non-physical true self. Oh, I got a leaf. Thank you. See? Oh my God, that's such a good confirmation. Thank you. Oh my God, higher being, inner being. Thanks, inner being and summit. Oh, I'm gonna keep that right there. I'm leaving it. Oh my God, that's so awesome. See? See? They're telling us. They're telling us. It's true that like this is a good way. And it's probably what Source wants. Source wants us to acknowledge it. Source wants us to acknowledge the truth. That's why we came here to wake up, because we are Source and we chose to wake up in this incarnation, right? Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here watching this if you weren't a fellow awakening being, right? So, um, so yeah, if you're having a hard time finding peace and finding your alignment and your resonance, just remember that you're not alone and that you have non-physicals with you, whether that's you within yourself, your source self, or it's a loved one or a beloved animal who's made its transition. Mogul just peed right when I said that. It's so funny. Whether it's, I feel like that's like the non-physicals, like just playing with us, you know, which they like to do a lot, like hence the leaf. Hence the leaf. That was so perfect. So thank you for that, guys. And like, I'm feeling so uplifted now, just talking about them and acknowledging them. So go forth and acknowledge them, y'all. And like, see how it feels energetically when you acknowledge their presence with you. Because I realized that when I was on the pink cloud stage or whatever, like in the beginning of my awakening, when I was first waking up to all this stuff and everything was going really well for me. And not to say it isn't now, but it was very, I mean, it was literally like everything was working out for me all day, every day, and it was effortless. And I just knew, you know, I just knew that like I realized I didn't have to understand. I didn't even have to understand any of these words people were saying. Like I was just so in my knowing that none of that mattered, and that like, because my inner being was with me and I was so aware of that. Okay, so this is the key, and I think this is like what I'm figuring out right now, is that that was the difference, was that like I was so aware of this presence within me that's like guiding me and like wanting everything to work out for me, that that aspect of awareness like was enabling me to just be in a state of allowing and like not trying. So just breathing and just acknowledging that Source is all around you and that your eternal self is with you, focused with you all the time, at all times. And it wants you to quiet down and acknowledge it, because everything's going to get really good for you when you start doing that. And I'm feeling it shift for me right now too. Like even just today, and just bringing light to this through this conversation. Mogul's collar is like all messed up. It does that sometimes. I still have the leaf. So yes. You guys, like, do this with me. Like acknowledge non-physicals with you and like it feels so good and just like it just is so calming. Just like just be in this high frequency with me and like see if you can just keep coming back to it every day and so that it becomes your primary state because when it does then everything just works out so well and like but what I'm saying is that like acknowledging the non-physical aspect is a huge factor in all of this and really getting into that state of being a uh, manifesting machine manifesting machine like which sounds like doesn't really give off the right energy but it's more of a state of allowing where you're just knowing like that everything is working out for you. It's so cool. It's the best feeling ever but like seems like I can't really maintain that unless I'm aware of the non-physicals that are guiding me. So all right, or just your inner being. It doesn't have to be a team of angels. It can just be your inner being. So your inner being is always guiding you, and you can follow that guidance through your what feels good. You have to feel into your feelings and follow what feels in resonance, what feels fun, and what feels like the most exciting thing you could be doing today and in every moment. So okay, guys, I'm gonna end it there. I love you all, and I hope this was helpful. Okay. Okay, bye. So epic. Just wanted to show you this. It's just the leaves and like it's just so awesome. So autumny. Like so beautiful. Love it. Love it. Yeah, bud. Yeah, bud. He's happy. Happy dog. Happy days.